Any of you Patriot fans want to buy a new Cam Newton jersey? I mean, this guy got his first win as a Buccaneer. Now he's all happy. Well, fun while it lasted. Cam's my quarterback now.
The package, what I really mean to say is, ain't no off season.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to No Off Season Media, and today we're going over Week 3 picks. Well, I want to seriously apologize for not distributing content last time. The fires out here were very bad in Southern California. The air quality was so bad, I ran out of my inhaler. It was really bad. I couldn't even speak. But now I'm better. But enough with my asthmatic problems. We're going to dive into Week 3. Thursday Night Football. We got the Miami Dolphins going to Duval County to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Basically, what this game is two things. It's the Battle of Florida in the AFC. Or it's the Great Majestic Beard against the Minshew Mustache. Who am I talking about? Gardner Minshew and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Everybody knows about Ryan Fitzpatrick's beard. Looks like Santa Claus. We already know about Minshew Mania, aka the Minshew Mustache. We knew about that last year. So it's a battle of facial hair, as I would say. This game, the line is about at 2.5. That's exactly where I'm going to keep it at. That's a great bet. I'm actually going to take Jacksonville minus 2.5. It's right about there. Jacksonville just played an outstanding game against the Tennessee Titans. They lost the game by a game-winning field goal from Steven Gostkowski. We already know about him. He was the kicker that missed like 3 field goals against the Denver Broncos. Well, he redeemed himself. He played well. He missed a extra point, but hey, a win's a win. Jacksonville, their defense is not great. Ryan Tannehill had 4 touchdowns against this defense, and it ain't that great historic Jacksonville defense either. He had virtually no pressure. Jacksonville, I mean, they're great offensively, but not great defensively. And it's weird because they have a defensive-minded head coach. And this is what happens with the defense allowing 33 points. But let's check on the flip side. We got the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are now 0-2. They lost to New England in the opener in New England. And they lost their home opener against the Buffalo Bills by 3 points by a backdoor cover by Ryan Fitzpatrick at the end of the game, and the game was already out of reach. They allowed Stephon Diggs receive wild all over their defense. If you can look for a piss-poor secondary, you can go to Miami. Their secondary is not great at all. They can't generate any pass rush. Josh Allen had a field day against this team on defensively. Offensively, they're still rebuilding. Offensive line needs rebuild. Running backs need rebuild. Wide receivers need to be rebuilt. They drafted Tua Tagovailoa. I finally said it correctly. Tua. He got drafted 5th overall. But, yay, might be some time to put some Tua in. I mean, you draft a guy 5th overall, not just only to be a backup. He's actually going to be your franchise quarterback. But overall, I mean, defensively, like, Jacksonville is god-awful in terms of giving up passing yards. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick, as I said, had a field day against Jacksonville. And same with the Dolphins. They are the bottom quarter of the league in passing defense. It's just god-awful. Now, rushing, Miami's not that great either in rush defense. In rush defense for the Jaguars, they are good in it. They're about middle of the pack. So, I mean, this game, I still have Jacksonville just based off of stats. Jacksonville is still the better team in this spot. I'm actually going to take the Jags to win 27-24, about where the line says. So I'll take Jacksonville. Next game, it's a whole bunch of memes. Falcons blew another lead, yet again, to the Dallas Cowboys. Not to the same team. This lead thing seems kind of familiar, doesn't it? Not looking good for the Falcons at all defensively. It's not great at all. Well, the problem with the Falcons is they got this great offense, but then they got this piss-poor defense. And that's not going to win games for you. Even though the offense can do great, the defense is allowing all these passing yards, these rushing yards, getting penalized. It's not going to win football games over there in Atlanta. And that's why I hate betting Atlanta. But they're playing against the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears, they're playing against the New York Giants. They allowed the New York Giants to have 13 points. The Chicago Bears defense is fourth among scoring, and that's great, but exaggerated because they did play a Giants team that's not great defensively and just lost their starting back in Saquon Barkley to a knee injury or ACL tour. I still do not trust the Bears in this spot with the Falcons. The Bears, Mr. Trubisky, I don't trust him at all. He had 2 interceptions against the Giants. The Giants defense is not great. Looking at the line, the Falcons are favored by 3.5, and I hate this. I'm going to say it as a bettor. I hate betting Atlanta because they start off so slow to the point where you don't even know if they're going to shoot back up or play well for the coach. You just don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to take Atlanta, and it pains me to do this because, that's why, I could have took Atlanta last week. But see, when I bet against Atlanta, that's when Atlanta plays great. But when I bet for Atlanta, that's when Atlanta just goes in the toilet. I'm going to swallow my pride, and I'm going to take the Falcons minus 3.5 to beat the Bears because I don't trust Mr. Trubisky at all. Like I said last video, I don't trust him at all. That's why I took the Giants plus 5.5. But I'm going to take the Falcons minus 3.5 here, and the Falcons win 30-23 against the Bears. Next game. If you looked at the schedule early in the season, you would have thought this game was nothing. Like, it was just a boring game. Well, it was actually sparking a lot of attention. We got the Rams against the Bills. And the thing is that this could be a heavily defensive game or it could be a heavily offensive game. I'm going to take, it says right here with the betting line, it says that the Bills are favored by 2.5. I'm actually going to take the Bills in this spot. The Bills have the #1 pass offense in the league. Well, they play against the Jets defense and the Dolphins defense. That's not, that could be exaggerated, as I said earlier. But the Rams are playing phenomenally. They played phenomenally against the Cowboys. I know Cowboy fans are still mad about that Jalen Ramsey acting he did. I'm going to take the Bills here because, the Rams have been playing phenomenal. They have, Jared Goff with all this play action. I wouldn't have thought that the Rams would be 2-0 right now because with the loss of Todd Gurley, the loss of Brandon Cooks, and the loss of other key players, the offensive line the way it is, I wouldn't have guessed that the Rams would be this good. So, they put 37 points on the Eagles defense. That's just a lot. And Eagles defense was actually ranked by Pro Football Focus to be a great defense. So that explains a lot. But I'm going to take the Bills here. Bills win 24-20, and it actually covers the spread, so that'll be great. But I'm going to take the Bills here. The Rams are still a good team. I got the Rams winning 10-11 games. Maybe even, I don't think they're going to win 9. I think it's 10-11. Oh, this is a good one. We got the first overall pick, Joe Burrow, quarterback from LSU, against another quarterback from North Dakota State. Every Eagle fan loves him. It's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz ain't doing too good. Does any Eagle fans want to explain to me about that? That ain't looking too good for Carson Wentz. Got sacked numerous times, probably 8+ times. The offensive line just looks it's awful. I remember, the first game he got sacked 4 times. Another game he got sacked 4 or 5 times, knocked out. Not going to get it done. Too many injuries. Injuries on the offensive line. Injuries as far as the wide receivers. And now the defensive injuries. It's not going to get well for this team. It's not. So, the Eagles are favored by 6.5. But they're good on pass rush. They got great pass rushers. But let's go on the flip side with the Bengals. The Bengals drafted Joe Burrow, #1 overall. Looks like a great prospect. Looks absolutely great. Better than Baker Mayfield that I thought last Thursday Night Football. And now the only thing that's stopping the Bengals is that terrible offensive line. So I think with this game, it's a matter of strength versus weakness. And the strength of the Eagles' pass rush with the weakness of the Bengals' offensive line could determine a factor in this game. And the same thing, and vice versa. But the problem is vice versa, is that the Bengals' pass rush is not great at all whatsoever. And the Eagles' offensive line is not great whatsoever either. So I think the Eagles have an edge there. Corners and wide receivers, you got to give the edge to the Eagles wide receivers. They're better than the Cincinnati corners. Flip side, you got to give the credit to the Bengals receivers and not. Well, they got Darius Slay on the Eagles secondary, but that's the only guy that Nickel Roby-Coleman. Please, this is a matter of strength versus weakness, and the Eagles are favored by 6.5. I'm going to take the Bengals plus 6.5. I think just the Philadelphia Eagles defense is not great. No fans. You don't have to worry about EAGL. You don't have to worry about none of that. No sound. I mean, none of that. You're fine. I think it'd be great for a rookie quarterback to come in there and beat him, but I don't think it's necessarily the case because this is a bad, like, it's kind of a lose-lose situation with Carson Wentz. If he loses to the Bengals, that sets me up for a field day for next video. That'd be interesting. I want to see what happens next video if Carson Wentz loses. But I expect Carson Wentz to win this game. I'm going to take the Bengals plus 6.5. I'm going to take Philadelphia to win 28-27, a little bit closer than everybody expects it to be, around there. We got an Eagles rival that just beat them 27-0 last time they played them in midway through the actually at the end of the second quarter. We have the Washington football team going up against the Cleveland Browns, the Bengals rivalry. So it's kind of on the flip. So the Browns are favored by 6.5. I am taking the Browns minus 6.5. I just do not trust Dwayne Haskins now. I was looking at a stat. Whenever the Washington football team scores a touchdown, it's less than 60 yards. So that means a defensive has to make a turnover. They did the exact same thing against Philly. But their touchdowns came in 50 yards away from a touchdown. So that's why I allowed the Washington football team to come back and beat Philly. When it came to the Cardinals just blew them out of the water. I mean, it was like, 20-0 by the second quarter. Not even second quarter, but like I think by the second half, it was already 20-0. So it wasn't looking good for them out there. So not necessarily any rushing attack. Dwayne Haskins is going to have to pass the ball and watch out for the pressure by Myles Garrett. But this offensive line, I mean, they got Brandon Sheriff. I think he's injured. I think he is. And it's just a whole bunch of other players. I mean, the offensive line is like mediocre. So, I mean, I think Myles Garrett's going to have a field day against this team. Give props to the Cleveland running backs for them having win that football game. Baker Mayfield had two touchdowns and an interception last week in Thursday Night Football against the Bengals. I don't think this game is going to be close. I think the Cleveland Browns will probably win with that rushing attack because Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals were able to attack that Washington football team with the running game and with the pass and the play actions. So I think the Cleveland Browns will win 30-16, the same amount of points that the Cardinals scored on the football team. Speaking about another rushing attack, we got the Derrick attack. I just made it up. I don't know. I'm just trying to make it work. We got the Derrick attack, Tennessee Titans going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Is anybody surprised how the way Minnesota's playing? Because I am. I mean, Kirk Cousins really missed Stephon Diggs. I mean, he really does. I mean, 167 yards and 3 interceptions against the Colts? The Colts defense is not even that great. I mean, just like, wow, Kirk Cousins, man. I don't know. Worst, like the worst team ever offensively in terms of passing, just the worst. And I don't even know what to expect from the Vikings. So, I mean, the Vikings defense is not that great at all. They're like one of the bottom defenses in the league. It's just, what do you expect from the Vikings now? I mean, the Vikings are about to start 0-3, and I think they will. Tennessee is favored by 2.5. I'm taking Tennessee. Tennessee can beat them with the rushing attack and with the play action attack. And guess what? The Titans were able to score 33 points without the number 1 wide receiver in A.J. Brown. I don't know what to expect from this team. I mean, it's certain team. I'm talking about the Vikings. I don't know what to expect from them. It's up in the air. All these contract extension, they got a lot of players. Got rid of a lot of players. Offensive line is not that great. I mean, no, I can't make it this team at all. And then the injury to Anthony Barr, that's really bad. That's just awful. So I'm just gonna take the Tennessee Titans to beat the Vikings. I think they beat them handily, 27-17. I think the Vikings are just gonna have to go into a rebuild, push the reset button, and just keep it on from there. I don't trust Kirk Cousins at all. They got to do something about Kirk Cousins. It ain't just Washington saw something. Minnesota will have to got their hands full with this team, with Kirk Cousins as well too, and the team. All right, next game, which is my guarantee of the week. I got the Las Vegas Raiders losing to the New England Patriots. And my thing is, a lot of sports bettors are taking the Raiders plus 6.5. I'm not doing that. The reason why, we saw what New England looked like last week against Seattle. They looked phenomenal. They could have won that game. But just because the Raiders beat the Saints with Drew Brees with a deterioration of his arm, and Michael Thomas, who wasn't even on the field, and that miscommunication with Emmanuel Sanders and Drew Brees, doesn't mean that the Raiders are actually, better than people expected them to be. I know I didn't pick the Raiders to win last week, but I'm not really salty about it. Props to Derek Carr, man. Come in there, beat the Saints, 2-0 against the Drew Brees all time in your career. Shout out to you, man. Like, I know you've been going through a lot of stress and everything, but shout out to Derek Carr. Shout out to Josh Jacobs. But what I'm going to tell you why New England's going to win is because the Raiders injury report, there's 2 key players that I saw in the injury report that did not practice. Josh Jacobs with a knee injury and Darren Waller with a knee injury. That's 2 of their best players. A lot of injuries come. They put Richie Incognito on IR. He's a great guard. Just like, wow. But New England always bounce back against a loss. Okay, New England lost back-to-back games last year. But here's my thing about New England's defense. Is that New England's defense loses to great quarterbacks. Who are the great quarterbacks? Patrick Mahomes. That's 1. Lamar Jackson. That's 2. Deshaun Watson. That's 3. Russell Wilson. That's 4. Ryan Tannehill, because he was elevating, but I put most of the blame on this gentleman here because he couldn't win the game for us, and I was happy when we lost because finally Patriot fans understand why I wanted Cam Newton or a mobile quarterback, not even just Cam Newton, but a mobile quarterback instead of a 43-year-old quarterback or 42, whatever age he was before he left. But that's what I'm trying to say. So I think the Patriots will win a blowout. And the Raiders aren't good against the run. They're not. Christian McCaffrey had a field day against them with a lot of rushes. What do you think Cam Newton's going to do? What do you think Cam Newton's going to do as far as running the ball and passing the ball? Think about it. So I'm going to take New England and a guarantee to beat the Raiders. I'm going to say it's a big number. 35-20. New England. New England wins. Next game, we had... This is like an injury game right here. This is the San Francisco 49ers against the New York Giants. Let me tell you how many players that the Niners lost. Brandon Ayuk, he's gone, wide receiver. George Kittle, before this game, gone. Jimmy Garoppolo, gone. Raheem Mostert, gone. Nick Bosa, ACL, gone. Solomon Thomas, ACL, gone. Tevin Coleman, injury, gone. There's nobody left. Oh, Richard Sherman, gone. Just too many injuries. So Kyle Shanahan did say that Nick Mullins is going to start this game, but we have more injuries. The Giants, Saquon Barkley, the great running back, gone. Tore his ACL against Chicago. Just like, wow. A lot of injuries. Just what do we make of the Niners, just like, wow, depleted with injuries. But the game must go on. Nick Mullins. I know that Nick Mullins is. I remember Nick Mullins. I remember back in 2018, he's the quarterback that came in for C.J. Beathard, and this is when the Niners weren't good. He came in and torched the Raiders secondary and won the game 34-3. Yeah, it was a blowout. And he's allowed. He's a great backup in my opinion. He's a great backup. He has always shown that. So the line is 4.5 for the Niners. I'm gonna take the Niners to win, but the Giants' defense is not that great, so I can't trust the Giants here. So that's why that also gives me credibility why I should take the 4.5. So I'm gonna take the San Francisco 49ers to win 20-14. 20-14. I expect them to run the ball a little more with Jared McKinnon to win the game. All right. Next game, we got two Watt brothers in here. I think it's 2 or 3. I think it's 3 brothers in here. I think Derek Watt is now with the Steelers. Maybe I might be crazy on that. But we got 3 Watt brothers up in here. We got JJ, Derek, and TJ Watt. The battle of the Watts. 2 on one side, 1 by himself. And the one by himself is the older one. But we got the Houston Texans going to the Steel City to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Steelers are favored by 3.5. I'm actually going to go on the flip side and take Houston plus 3.5. The reason why is because I can't trust the Steelers offense. I really can't. They allowed the Broncos to come back in that game against them last week. And that was with Jeff Driscoll. And I know that the offensive line for the Broncos isn't that great. I know Houston's is worse, it's very deteriorating. And I mean, they just allowed 33 points to the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, that's how much the defense allowed. But I think if the Steelers play like that again, I think they kind of will, because they kind of do overlook these teams. That's what Pittsburgh does. I think that the Texans can come and win the game. I think they can. And I did pick early in the season that this is probably going to be the game that shifts Houston momentum. And, I mean, they weren't great again. I mean, Cortland Sutton got injured last game. That kind of really helped the Pittsburgh defense. And then you had Jerry Jeudy. I mean, it was just Jeff Driscoll making all these plays against this Pittsburgh defense. I think Deshaun Watson can make a little bit more plays against this Pittsburgh defense and actually win the game. So I'm going to take Houston. I know Houston's defense is awful. I know, giving up a lot of points. I think they're like 33.5 in points given in per game. But I'm going to take the Houston Texans 27-24. That's one of my upsets. But that's not the upset I'm guaranteeing that's going to happen. Next game, we have the New York Jets traveling to Indianapolis Colts. And in this game, they have the Colts as a 10.5 favorite. Ugh. I don't like that number. I really don't. I don't like that number. Not necessarily saying that they're going to overlook the Jets, but the thing about that is the Colts have so much injuries on that team. Malik Hooker, gone. Parrish Campbell, gone. Marlon Mack, gone. I'm just like, there's too many injuries on this team. And, I mean, I love Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. I mean, I thought he should have been a first-round pick. But I don't know what to expect from this Colts team. I mean, T.Y. Hilton has a case of the dropsies. I don't know what to expect of the Jack Doyle. I don't know what to expect from anybody. I mean, who else is... I mean, Michael Pittman Jr., is that what Phillip Rivers is going to go throw that ball to? So I don't know what's going to happen with that team. So I'm going to take the Jets plus 10.5 because the Jets, I mean, they have to get close. I mean, they have to get better offensively. But I don't think the Jets win this. I do not pick the Jets to win this game. I'm going to take the Colts to win. I think the Colts win, but fail to cover the spread because they overlook the Jets. I take the Colts to win 24-17, and that just seemed like a reasonable game there. Next game, we have a game in the City of Angels. We have the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, 2 teams have some star players that are injured, in my opinion. Well, one's a star player for sure. The other one, I'm not too sure, but y'all think is a star player. But we got Christian McCaffrey out for multiple weeks. That ain't good. 4 to 6 weeks to be exact. That's not great. And then the Chargers, Tyrod Taylor is out. Tyrod Taylor, this is the second time getting injured when he has a rookie quarterback behind him. Well, it ain't looking too good. A doctor accidentally punctured his lung by giving him a shot for his broken ribs. That's like life-threatening, man. You got a punctured lung, you can't breathe, you done, man. I mean, like, just wow, man. Yeah, y'all need to talk to that doctor because he just messed something up. You might have to, that degree, man, I swear, man. Just doctors, you can't be messing up like that. But let's talk about the game. Justin Herbert played phenomenal in his debut against the Chiefs, but here's the problem. He turned the ball over late in the game, which actually helped the Chiefs to win the game. Not necessarily in the fourth quarter, but in overtime. Anthony Lynn did not go for it in fourth and 1 in overtime. I don't know why he did. I mean, I would have, but maybe that's part of the reason why I'm not a head coach. But I mean, the line here says that the Chargers are favored by 7.5. I'm actually going to go to take the Panthers plus 7.5. The Panthers defense is not great. I get it, but I mean, they could be run the ball on, but here's the thing. The Panthers' offense is actually really good about spreading the ball with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and Curtis Samuel. I know there's no Christian McCaffrey, but then they got Mike Davis. So, I mean, they can make it work whichever way they need to make it work. So, I'm going to take the Panthers to cover I'm going to get the Chargers to fail to cover the spread. So, I'm going to take the Chargers to win 27-20 against the Panthers. Next game. Oh, this is a good one here. Oh, I mean, how can you go wrong on this one? I won't be shocked if Joe Buck and Troy Aikman's at this game. We got the Dallas Cowboys going up to the Emerald City to play the Seattle Seahawks, who just beat my New England Patriots 30-35. Same score as the Bengals and Browns game. But Cowboys came back in clutch. I mean, after that 20-hole deficit they had against the Falcons, they outscored the Falcons 40-19. I'm like, wow. I mean, Greg the Leg Zerline with that kick, that one I was spiraling and everything. That looked hard to go by. Maybe the special teams on the Falcons didn't know what they were doing, but I mean, Russell Wilson is my. I said earlier Russell Wilson was my. Not Russell Wilson, but I remember I said earlier that Kyler Murray was my MVP favorite. I'm actually going to go with somebody else in his division. That's Russell Wilson. I mean, he had 0 MVP votes last season or in his career. That's a huge shot. I mean, just like, wow, this guy has been playing well and everything, and nobody even gave him a vote about it. It's just, eesh. But both defenses for this team are awful. That's my thing. Seattle has the second worst defense, or actually the worst defense, mind me. Seattle has the worst defense, allowing 415 yards a game. And the Cowboys actually are, 23rd. So that's not, both defenses are not even going to be that great. But if I had to pick a winner of this game, I'm actually going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks are a 4.5-point favorite. I'm going to take Seattle. I trust Russell Wilson more than I do trust Dak Prescott. Even though Dak Prescott has more weapons, I'm going to take Russell Wilson. So I'm going to take the Seahawks to beat the Cowboys because of their offense. Because Seattle has the second best offense, and the Dallas Cowboys have the 8th best offense. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks because they're best offense and say that they beat the Cowboys 37-31, final overtime. I really do believe that the Dallas Cowboys will lose the Seattle Seahawks in overtime. I think the Seahawks can outgain the Cowboys in overtime. But, Seattle was in overtime last year against the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers were actually really good on offensively, but Jameis Winston turned the ball over too much. But I think the Cowboys and the Seahawks, this is a game I think it can go into overtime. I think it could. And it'll be a great game. So as I said earlier, 37-31, Seahawks win in overtime with a touchdown. All right. Next game, we got Tommy. Let me get Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy, here you go. You're going to Denver, and you're playing against the Denver Broncos. Guess what, Tommy Boy? You are 8-9 against the Denver Broncos in your career. Thanks to you, my friend could talk smack to me for 9 times. I thank you for that. Thank you, Tommy Boy. Thank you. You suck in Denver. But his Buccaneers are favored by 5.5 to beat the Broncos with Jeff Driscoll after they just newly required Blake Bortles after Drew Lock went down with a shoulder injury. Well, I'm actually going to take the flip side. My friend thinks I'm going to take his team. Well, he's right. I am going to take his team. Points. Plus 5.5. Take Denver plus 5.5. I don't think the Broncos will win this game. Too many injuries. Tim Patrick's not. That's going to be their only receiver there. I don't know what's up with Jerry Jeudy. It didn't look too good. Cortland Sutton's out for the year with an ACL. It's not looking too good for Denver defensively and offensively. So, maybe the defense can keep the offense in games. The Buccaneers, they're still learning the playbook, learning the chemistry. Endeavor Mile High, as I said, alluded to earlier, Tom Brady is 8-9 in his career. He has a losing record playing the Denver Broncos. Take the Broncos here to win. Not to win, but necessarily take the Broncos plus 5.5. I think the Bucs will win. I'm going to predict the score that Tampa Bay wins 24-21. They still getting groove with chemistry, but here's my thing. You can't take the load off of Jeff Driscoll by running the ball because Tampa Bay is actually great against the run. So you're going to have to pass all over this team. And who does Jeff Driscoll have to pass to? Tim Patrick? I mean, can you name anybody else on that offense? Exactly. So, take the Broncos plus 5.5, but I think Tampa will win 24-21 off of a Ryan Suckup field goal. Speaking about almost tying a game, this game tied last year. They have the Detroit Lions going to Arizona, or the Valley of the Sun, as some people call it. They're playing up against the Arizona Cardinals, I alluded to earlier. This game actually tied last year, 27-27, when Kyler Murray was a rookie. Here's a fun fact. The Detroit Lions are 3-14 after that game, and the Arizona Cardinals are 7-10 after that tie game. But here's my thing about Arizona. They had a rookie quarterback. This team had a lot of veteran players. So, and this is coming when the Arizona Cardinals have 2 straight wins. So it's looking great for, after that game, one team is going up and the other one's going down. I'll let you figure out what team is going down and which one's going up. But overall, Kyler Murray, he has played phenomenally against the Washington football team. DeAndre Hopkins, is fine. Is everybody going to finally listen to me that DeAndre Hopkins is the number one, is the best wide receiver in the league? Or y'all going to still, or is Madden or people in general going to say that Michael Thomas is still the best? No, it's DeAndre Hopkins. Stop robbing him. I still crucify the Houston Texans for making that trade for DeAndre Hopkins and trading him away for David Johnson and a bag of pennies. Like, come on, man. So, Bill O'Brien, man. So, I think Detroit is not that great. Their secondary is still banged up. The defense is not that great. I think defensively, Detroit is like god-awful in rushing. So, they're going to run the ball through Detroit. If I have anybody on fantasy, start Kenyon Drake and start Kyler Murray, because they're going to have a field day with this Detroit defense. Just a field day. In terms of passing, you want to, as I said, anybody for fantasy, take Kyler Murray in this game. He's gonna beat the crap out of the Lions. The Lions are not that good. They're not good of a team. And I think they're the 4th best team in the division. I think Matt Patricia will get fired by mid-season. But this is not a great Detroit team. Not great at all. I'll be shocked if Detroit wins. But I'm going to take the Cardinals to win by 8 points. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win 31-23. And, Kyler Murray, he might be just like... if there was an improved player of the year in NFL, I would give it to Kyler. Speaking about a guy that gets bashed by the media but still outperforms day in and day out, we got the Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers going to the Big Easy or the Bayou and going to go play the New Orleans Saints. They got New Orleans as a 3.5-point favorite. I don't know where that's coming from, but I think I know exactly where that's coming from because of Devontae Adams' injury. And the Saints are good against the run. So they can contain Aaron Jones. But I still cannot go away from that bad man back there in Aaron Rodgers. Just torch that Lions defense and torch the Vikings defense. He's playing angry. I think he's second to Russell Wilson in MVP conversations. That's just me. But Saints, man, too many penalties. 8 penalties a game. I can't even tell you how many yards of those penalties they keep taking. Drew Brees' arm is deteriorating, so he's not going to throw over the top. They have Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not sure if Michael Thomas is coming back in this game. So, what is it to take from this game? Well, you got Jair Alexander. Who's he going to be covering? Michael Thomas is there. He's going to be Michael Thomas. Or he's going to be on Emmanuel Sanders. They're going to probably put some gadget plays in there with Taysom Hill. But this is not looking good for the Saints at all. Drew Brees' age is showing. He couldn't move the ball at all against the the Las Vegas Raiders defense. So, I mean, just Drew Brees' deterioration of his arm. I don't know what to make of that. But I'm going to take an upset here because everybody's picking the Saints. I'm taking the Packers to beat the Saints in the Big Easy. No fans. That's actually great. You know, down there at the Dome, you can't hear nothing. You can't make no audible plays. You can't do anything while that crowd noise. No crowd. Take the Packers. I'm going to take the Packers plus 3.5. I think the Packers will win 27-23. No fans, man. No fans and nothing there. I mean, that actually looks good for an away team, especially on Sunday night. Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers are 2-2 head-to-head. I wonder who's going to win third. I'll let you make that decision. Oh, this is wee. Last, and my pick for the NFL Game of the Year, we have the Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens. We have two two MVPs. One in 2018 and one in 2019. Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes. One has a ring. One had the number 1 seed. One lost at home. Both actually lost at home. Shockingly. So, I mean, this is the game of the year. Now, the line says the Ravens minus 3.5. It's going to be a great offensive game, but here's my thing. The Ravens are good against the pass and good against the run. I wonder what Patrick Mahomes is going to do. And I wonder what's going to happen with, on the flip side. The thing is, Kansas City, they didn't play particularly well against the run. What do the Ravens do better than most teams? They run the ball. That's what they're going to do against Kansas City. Keep Mahomes on the sideline. That's what they're going to do. Make sure this is going to be the Lamar Jackson show. You know what would be dope? Just saying this because I really hope this happens. I hope they go out in their all-black jerseys. I hope so. I got to probably check Instagram about that. But I hope they go in their all-black jerseys because I think that looks dope. And like lights are bright. It's dark. Monday night. Come on with the black jerseys and everything. Ravens, make it happen, please. Make it happen. That'll be dope. But I'm going to take the Ravens here. I think the Ravens do win this game. I think Lamar Jackson can get his first win against Patrick Mahomes, specifically because I think they can run on the Chiefs defense, all over the Chiefs defense, and play action pass on the Chiefs defense. And I think that'll be eating up the clock just to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to lose this game to the Ravens. Baltimore wins 35-31. That is my Week 3 picks. Well, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And if the Lions win, I may have to wear this Brady jersey and actually praise Brady for, I don't know, winning against the Denver Broncos and say that he is the best quarterback that I have ever seen. I mean, he is, but, you know, I just feel that we need to move in a different direction. Bill Belichick over Tom Brady. So if the Lions win, I will say that Tom Brady did everything and not Bill Belichick. But that's only if the Lions win, okay? But that's it. Don't forget, as I said earlier, like, comment, subscribe. And that's it from No Off Season Media. I will catch you guys later. Peace.